The opulent halls of Buckingham Palace, where tradition reigns supreme, and any whiff of modernity is met with disdain. Enter Meghan Markle, the self-styled mogul of California, who's managed to serve up a fresh batch of royal drama, much to everyone's amusement. Once the darling of the royal family, now just a fading figure grasping at whatever remnants of a crown she might still be able to cling to, Meghan has decided it's time for a bit of royal revisionism. Let's be real, she's back at it again, but this time with a request so audacious it's almost laughable. According to royal commentator Neil Shaw, Meghan reached out to none other than King Charles III himself, asking for an update to her profile on the official royal family website. Yes, you heard that right. She's asking for a little more space on the site. Apparently, her Netflix flops, unsuccessful podcasts, and utterly forgettable branding attempts deserve a spotlight in the digital archives of royalty. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. And in a plot twist no one saw coming, except, everyone, King Charles did what any sane monarch would do. He rejected her request outright. Not only that, he took it a step further, removing Meghan's name from the royal website entirely. Ouch. If there's any doubt that King Charles isn't interested in her post-royal shenanigans, this move should clear it up. That's right, Meghan. The monarchy has officially hit unsubscribe on your endeavors, and it's not even a polite thank you for your service. Let's rewind to the good old days, when Meghan and Harry were living their best royal lives. Or at least that's how they sold it to us. She was once part of the royal family, surrounded by the grandeur of castles and ceremonial duties. But in 2020, Meghan couldn't escape the royal grind fast enough. She needed freedom, she claimed. Freedom from the confines of duty, from the British press, and from all the responsibilities of royal life. Fine, fair enough. So what did she do next? Launched a series of half-hearted, high-budget vanity projects, of course. Netflix series? A self-congratulatory disaster? Podcasts? Oh, the less said, the better. Meghan's ventures were quickly relegated to the same level as any influencer's failed experiment. Dropped, ignored, and forgotten. Yet somehow this isn't enough for her. Meghan can't seem to let go of that royal connection. She's still fixated on her profile on the royal website, as though it's some kind of validation she craves. Sources close to the Sussexes, because they're obviously the most reliable, reveal that Meghan has been obsessing over her demotion to the footnotes of royal history, desperate to reframe her narrative as some great post-royal success. Newsflash, Meghan, we're all aware of the fact that your contributions are little more than self-serving publicity stunts, and no amount of begging King Charles will change that. So what does Meghan do next? She emails King Charles directly, asking for a shiny update to her profile, as if the world is dying to read about her superb work in the entertainment industry. But guess what? Charles didn't even bother to respond. Not even a polite, no thanks. The silence was deafening. An insider claimed it was a message Meghan couldn't miss. She's out. No, she's not on a break, or taking a step back. She's out, and not by royal decree this time, but by her own choosing. Then, in early March 2025, the royal website underwent a little spring cleaning, and poof, Meghan's name disappeared entirely. Gone, vanished, like a bad memory. Where she once stood alongside Harry, now there is only a brief, sad little entry for him. No mention of her, no acknowledgement of her existence in the royal family. To any outsider, this is as clear a message as it gets. Meghan Markle is not part of the royal family, not in any meaningful way. King Charles didn't even bother to throw her a bone. This wasn't just a polite no thank you to her request. It was a full-blown digital excommunication. As you'd imagine, Meghan's not exactly taking this news well. Back in her mansion in Montecito, because of course that's where she's hiding out, sources say she's absolutely furious. Poor Meghan is reportedly fuming over what she perceives as a personal slight from King Charles, a king who's clearly had enough of her antics. Of course, Harry, her ever-loyal lapdog, is just as upset. No doubt they're both plotting their next dramatic move. Perhaps an Instagram post laced with passive aggressive comments, or a new podcast episode filled with subtle digs at the royals. Because that's how you show the world your maturity, right? But here's the real kicker. Meghan had this whole vision in her head. She was going to modernize the monarchy, bridge the old with the new, and basically rebrand herself as a global icon. Instead, she's become the joke of the century. She once fancied herself the modern day people's princess, but in reality, she's just an influencer whose royal connection has become nothing more than a fading footnote. Meanwhile, King Charles has moved on, focusing on his monarchy and the duties that actually matter. In the end, Meghan and Harry's latest misstep proves what many have suspected all along. Despite their attempts to create a brand new legacy, they've only managed to alienate themselves further from the institution they once tried to reform. King Charles has made it clear he's no longer playing the game. For Meghan, it's a public humiliation, one she seems desperate to reverse, but the monarchy's door is firmly closed. And that, my friends, is the true tragedy of Meghan Markle's royal exit.